I'm wandering around the streets of Mazunte here in South Mexico, and this is a hippie town, like almost I've never seen before. I've been to Bali and I've been to Thailand, where there's also a lot of spiritual tourism, but this is like something I've never seen before. This is one, I would almost say, parade of people that are very much into a spiritual lifestyle. And I don't know any of them, so maybe they all are very sincere in their intentions, is the word I was looking for. Well, they all look alike. In the way they present themselves, which almost is impossible. So there is something other at play here, and that has got to do with an outward focus rather than an inward focus. Looking at all the sunset celebration guitar players and all the full moon girls, I can't help but think and feel that, again, I don't think it's 99%, but let's say 90% is just caught up in just another script because of look at the way I present myself and look at how free I am. Look at how enlightened I am. So a lot of the things that came from the New Age movement and a lot of things that came from India or wherever, a lot of it is just another script. And what happens is that if you are not fully aware of that, and you think you are enlightened or on the way to enlightenment, or that you are awake, or that you have had a spiritual awakening, as long as you are not aware of the script and the script writers that are in place, then you are actually helping them, or that energy. It's not a person, but I'll come back to that another time, to grow with you and to get a better understanding of what you are looking for, so that they can adjust their script accordingly. I know people that have told me that they have had a spiritual awakening, and that is perfectly possible, but I am afraid that they have awakened just within the confines of the matrix. They have what they consider to be enlightened, and yet when I would talk about them, about the scripts and the script writers and the origin of all of that, they have no clue. I have even been at a retreat in India where the teacher called himself an enlightened being, a realized being, which is quite a claim. But by that time I had already had some first insights in the galactic origin of everything and the galactic heart and the galactic source of everything. I already had a little bit of insight in being in a script and sort of having that overview of that there is such a thing as a script, which is in place here on this planet. I tried to talk about that with that master or teacher, and he did not respond. He had no, I'll be blunt, he had no clue. He was completely caught up in the scripts of the spiritual wisdom as he had been taught by his teacher in India. So there you have it. There you have someone who is convinced that he is self-realized, yet from a galactic standpoint, he is just, no, not just, that sounds derogatory, but from a galactic standpoint, he is fully in the matrix. And then I come back to what I was trying to say also, that what is so bad about that? On a good day, I would agree with you. On a day that I'm a little bit more skeptical, I am worried by the fact that people like him and hundreds and thousands of others are helping the algorithms of the script writers to make it more and more difficult to look right through it. If we are not fully aware, we are adding to the unawareness. And the unawareness is exactly the field that feeds the script writers, right? Because that's a simple conclusion, because full awareness means fully remembering your source being, right? And that goes straight through the plans and schemes of the script writers, because you look straight through it. That's what actual self-realization means to me. It's reclaiming awareness. It's reclaiming full awareness to 100%. That will never be possible, but that's the aim, that's the process, that's the direction, right? That's the direction. To regain your full awareness, to regain the full memory of what it is being a galactic being, being a source being. And that's why I'm really passionate about this, because what we want to do on our path of self-realization is bringing every little bit to the forefront and bringing every little bit of unawareness to the field of awareness. So every little conditioning, every little pain, everything wants to be seen. And by doing that, you reclaim your source. It's almost like we are shattered. We are shattered. And now it's time to pick up the pieces and gather yourself, not interrupted anymore by anything. I will get back to that because that's a whole other story. But I want you to know that there is, in the end, there's nothing wrong with the script writers. I can see, I know why they are doing it. It's the same as we humans also behave. It has got to do with pain, and it has got to do with the coping mechanism. And these dear script writers, they have experienced something that they were deeply, deeply wounded by, galactically, energetically, deeply wounded, and they want to have a fence around the human beings to prevent what has ever happened before. Again, this is something for another episode, but it's good to know. It's so important for me to know, to share that. Don't think bad of the Matrix, because if you would do that, that would be an act of anger, and an act of anger comes from pain, and pain, when it's not dealt with, it comes from the same energy field as the unawareness. You know, so it's either pain or it is love. It's either pain or it's awareness. But the thing for now that I want to remember is that don't attach your anger or your fear. Fear is another big one. Don't attach that to what happens in this world. There are good reasons. There are very good reasons why these civilizations or energies are doing what they do. And it's time now that it has got to stop. That's another thing. But it's enough. Enough is enough. It's enough now. It's enough with the pain-based and fear-based actions of the script writers, and it is enough already with the fear-based and the pain-based actions of ourselves. It's enough already. We have reached the limits, and that's what we are doing here as a group, right? This is the work now, to bring everything to the surface and to change this game around into a love-based game. And that also includes, ultimately, compassion for whoever is behind the way we lead our lives, which ultimately we are ourselves. Because, and I'm not telling anything new here, we are all connected, right? We are all cells in the body of one. It's all inward. So the only way forward is in, and the only way to dissolve this matrix and this fear-based life is repair ourselves. True freedom is an inner experience, and the only source from true freedom lies within. Ask yourself the question, am I willing to drop everything that I consider beneficial to my spiritual health? A method, a teaching, a person that's outside of you. Am I willing to drop it, or am I secretly holding on to it, clinging to it? Just ask yourself, is that where my true freedom comes from? And I don't want to say anything bad. If that is part of the journey, if that is part of the process, if that is part of your true awakening, if that is what you need, if that is one of the stepping stones towards self-realization, then bless you. But please be aware that you do not fall into the trap of just following another story. It's a different story this time, but a story nevertheless. It's a different script this time, but a script nevertheless. The intuitive intelligence lies within, does not lie within anything else. It's not outside of yourself. It's not in that guru, it's not in that full moon. There's a lot to say about the full moon, but not for now. The full moon is connected to the script writers for another time. It's not in wearing a certain dress, singing a certain chant. The only way out is in. Right? Right. So everything that I'm saying too is the same. Don't listen to me. Judge by your own intuitive intelligence if everything that I say makes any sense here, not here only, in your whole body. And if it does, beautiful, and if it doesn't, drop it. Right.